Hello.
Hello.
We'll just start it as then. Hello, guys. As this is the first podcast, it's going to be a bit scratchy and not flow as well. But welcome to the first podcast of Singing the Blues with me, Aaron, and my mate, Keiran, who
Hello.
is joining us. We are going to be the creators of this podcast, and we're just going to talk about. We've recently just been talking about a lot about football, and we just decided to do a podcast about it, so we can actually have other people's opinions, put our opinions out there online. We're, well, the podcast itself is going to be about City mainly, because we're Manchester City fans. Holla City.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, but we're also going to talk about eventually other topics about worldwide football, Champions League, Europa League, probably World Cups, Euros, considering that's this year, transfer talks, anything. So I guess we should just start with the City topics, right?
Yeah. So, what's your opinion on last night's game?
So, we're going straight to the derby then. We're
Yeah.
kicking straight into the derby.
Might as well. Most relevant point.
Going out there, I thought the lads would be confident as everything because we won the 21 games in a row. We were looking good in front of goal for once, considering we've not looked good in front of goal since the start of the season because we've not had Aguero in there. Jesus hasn't been in form. And then as we get onto the pitch, the passing about's not great. And then you go into the 35th minute about, wasn't it? 35th, 36th, 38th maybe minute, and you go into and you get Martial in that penalty area, and you have Jesus, who's just come from striker into defence and tackles him in the box. I thought as soon as that happened, it was just going to go downhill, which 2-0 at the end of the game, which it was, and it just didn't go as well as everyone thought it would. But other than that, I was really confident going into the game. What about you? After everything that we saw, before I turned it off after Luke Shaw's goal. Hello?
I was quite confident with the game myself, but after 30 odd seconds into the game, we conceded a penalty, and then Edison got his hand to it. I was like, that's unfortunate for him. And then they started pressing us like I've never seen that from United at all. So
United went out there, didn't look like they wanted to win it more, but obviously they did because they ended up winning it. But they looked different to the United you've seen in the past 5-6 years.
Yeah, they had the confidence. I think to be fair, it's because the record that they got at the Etihad at the moment.
And to top it off though, I'm not more disappointed. I'm less disappointed in the team itself than I am in Jesus and Edison, because Jesus was in a position that's unlikely for any striker to be in.
Mm.
If anything, it should be the ringers who were Mahrez and Sterling at that point that should have pushed back, but they were up top doing Jesus' job. And then I think Diaz and Stones had Martial covered perfectly.
Yeah, they had him covered.
But then you go into the half time 1-0, and if City go into that half time at 1-0, it never looks good.
No.
Obviously, you can get these chances that City have that get you a goal or two, but from the first half, it wasn't looking great.
As soon as they scored the penalty, all United needed to do was sit back and defend and guard 3 players with 5 people.
I've got to give credit to Henderson in net though. He's shown that he should be a top goal scorer. A top goal scorer? No, a top goalkeeper. Henderson up front. That'd be some fun to watch. He shows he should be a top goalkeeper against any team in the Prem.
He's basically try to show that he's worth the number one spot whilst David De Gea is on paternity leave.
Yeah. If for anyone who watched the game, if you saw, I think it was that shot by Zinchenko, I think any other keeper wouldn't have had that covered, or at least I don't think De Gea would have had that covered.
No, he wouldn't. No, because
So
the speed and the precision that shot had on it, it only takes a minuscule of like the smallest of margins to get it wrong, and it's going into the net.
So the positioning for Henderson in that game and for that specific shot, we got unlucky with a pass from Mahrez into the penalty area to Jesus as he just knocked that wide, or Jesus just couldn't get to it early enough. I'm not sure what happened with that shot there.
Even if Jesus got to that anyway, it would have been offside.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it would have been nice to at least score it though.
Yeah. Do we talk talk about the foul on Sterling by Fred?
Oh, I thought that was a foul. I was screaming at the ref whilst I was at my house.
Yeah,
I'll tell you.
I swore at that ref. I don't think the neighbours appreciated it, and I don't think my mum and dad would appreciate it. But with like Martial's, possibly depending on who the ref was, could be a pen, couldn't be a pen. On my side, I didn't see much in it to be the pen, or at least I saw it on the line. But then you go to City's end, and you have Fred literally putting his knee in someone's crotch.
Yeah, he put his entire body into the tackle, and it still didn't get the ball. So I don't know how they didn't call a penalty for that.
No.
And also the fact sometimes United started to press, and then we made just silly decisions and just tackled them wherever. But like when I say tackled, I mean like very heavily tackled them.
Yeah.
And we need to start doing less of that, but also, well, not start doing less of it, but more so like become less aggressive with it. Because the more aggressive we become with it, the more fouls we're going to concede. And that just opens up the game for them.
Let's go on to. Shall we move on, or shall we continue just talk about this for the couple of minutes? Because I don't know whether to mention about Shaw's goal and the how that came about, or move on.
Personally, Shaw's goal was a mixture of three things: poor awareness by Mahrez, also a poor defensive judgment from Rodri, and poor awareness from Ederson. I'm just going to say how it is. Ederson should have been down on the floor reaching for that, no matter whether the shot was going in or not.
He should have at least not been just standing there looking at it. He should have at least moved himself into a different position to at least look like he's going to stop it.
Yeah.
If that was on the other end of the pitch and it was, say, Sterling. No, actually, we won't say Sterling. He's not had a great in front of goal. Say it was Gundogan, who's been terrific in front of goal for us.
Yeah.
Henderson would have actually saved that.
Yeah.
Henderson would have moved himself, stopped that ball, as you saw in the goal against Zinchenko, the shot against Zinchenko, the almost Mahrez Jesus combination. He would have stopped that anyway because he was in the right position to try and knock it away from Jesus.
Yeah.
But I turned it off after the goal, so I don't know what happened after that.
Also, the opportunities that Gundogan got were good chances, but they pressed him 3-on-1 every time he got the ball, so he couldn't get a look in at the goal. And also, my question is, why didn't Pep Guardiola start Phil Foden?
Or Bernardo Silva. They've both had. At the start of the season, Pep Guardiola said, "We do not need a replacement for David Silva. We have Phil Foden," which everyone thought, "Oh, Phil's going to play 80% of the games in this season."
Nearly every game, yeah.
at 90% of the games in the season, but I've honestly not seen much of him in the starting lineup.
Like, if you're saving him for Champions League, fair enough. But Champions League isn't until next week, so I don't see why you've not played him for the last 3 games in a row. When he brings the awareness of players upwards because he's got tricky feet, so they don't know when he's passing the ball. When he passes the ball, he's playing it perfectly to different people, and he can put a cross in like De Bruyne can, and he's only 20.
If anything, from that game, De Bruyne was not up to scratch. He has not been up to scratch since joining back. So, if anything, it should be Foden and Bernardo in for Mahrez and De Bruyne at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Whilst we're on the subject of the United game, I know he did his subs early this time, but why we thinking Pep does his subs last minute, and why do we think he only ever uses the one or the two and not the three, and doesn't give everyone enough of the chances off the bench?
Personally, I think he's doing it to try and get the most out of players, but also try to give players a rest at the same time. So, say, for instance, João Cancelo, he got subbed off in the 61st minute because he played poor. I'll admit he played pretty poor. He got into some good positions, but he was really, really poor. The fact that he kept going up the pitch and getting the ball stripped off him, and he wasn't tracking back as he he usually does. He was just holding there and coming back as a CDM instead of as a right back, and leaving John Stones to deal with the mess.
Well,
so the reason why I think he was doing it was because he's trying to get the most out of his players. But this time, in the 61st minute, it was because Joao wasn't the greatest. But as for when as for when Foden came on, it was a different story. I forgot, Jesus, was it? Jesus didn't have the greatest game either. Jesus just ran himself into the ground because he knew that he messed up. So he took off Jesus in the 70-odd minute for Foden. And you see what the kid can do. The kid can make a difference. Wan-Bissaka covered Sterling all game. As soon as Wan-Bissaka got a challenge against Foden, Foden absolutely made a mockery of him.
It shows how far everyone's come, considering we've had 3 derbies against United this season. First derby was a 0-0 draw. None of us were on form that game. None of us. It was 8th versus 9th or 9th versus 8th, whichever way it was. And then you have the Carabao Cup semi-final, and we come on. Phil Foden starting that game.
Foden started that game, yeah.
And we win 2-0. He leaves him out of the game in this second derby, and we lose 2-0. It shows what it want Foden on that wing as well, in the place of Mahrez or someone.
I think it was in place of Mahrez, yeah.
Most likely, probably. And I'm pretty sure Bernardo started that game as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Two players that are on form that got missed out of one of the biggest games that were at this point of the season because they were in second and had their chance. They still have chances to gain points now within. We've got 6-7 games left to win. I don't know how many it is that left to win. We need to win.
I think it's 7, yeah.
Yeah, I think Pep were saying last night it was 6 or 7 that we've got to win for us to lift that trophy. But that doesn't mean they won't catch us in them 6 or 7 games. We still got Chelsea to play again. We still got Leicester to play. Who else we've got? Aston Villa. They could still be on. They could be on form at that point because they were on form at the start of the season.
It just shows what Pep's trying to do, though. The way our players played yesterday, not a single one of them had a good game, except for Ederson, when he was like straight on the floor as soon as Martial got the ball because everyone else thought he was offside. And other than that, what I think Pep's game plan was to try and get a result, but also not go as hard with the game, so we can focus on the Champions League next week, and we've got fit players.
I don't know whether Pep thought this was an important game, but not a game that we had to win, because we've got other games that are smaller, that are lower in the league. So he's probably thinking, oh wait, we have these games that we can probably end up getting 3 points out of.
Mm-hmm.
So United's not a massive difference. I don't know what it was in the changing rooms, and to be honest, I don't want to find out what it was in the changing rooms.
If I was Pep, as soon as we conceded that foul in the 32nd second or whatever, I would have been like, right, Jesus, come here. I would have had a word with him straight away and basically told him, why did he do that? Like, ask him why did he do that, and just told him to leave it to the defenders because he doesn't need to be in that position. He was out of order.
That's Rodri's job. That's what Rodri's job is as a midfielder. If he's noticed that the players have got to the defence, he's supposed to pull back himself and have that fifth man in defence.
If you don't include Jesus in that tackle, right? There was Stones, Diaz, and Rodri all on Martial. Martial only had one direction to go, and that was across the box, not into the box. If he went into the box, it would have been stormed by Edison, and also Diaz and Stones would have got to their ball before Martial even got a chance to take the shot. So whatever Jesus had going on in his mind, he needs to stop because there was no need for that.
No. I think if you noticed as well, I wouldn't say United played well because obviously the stats show a completely different story. But
yeah.
If you noticed, like, say Rashford was on the ball, he had no backup. Martial had no backup when they got on the ball. They were just lucky to get that one gap in the net, or that one gap in the defence to have a ball push through.
Yeah. During that game, I was just thinking, why did he start Mahrez? Because Mahrez does not deal well with a compact defence. When teams push up and it's an open game, that's when Mahrez will succeed. Like Burnley, they played an open game against us at the Etihad. That's why he got a hat-trick, because he had more space to dribble and he could get through the defence easier. Whereas United, as soon as they scored that first goal, they parked the bus. They let us attack at them, and they pressed when we was down. And then, other than that, we didn't see anything of Mahrez that game properly. The only thing he done was put in a couple of crosses. But did you see him shoot many times?
No.
There you go. He cannot deal with a team that presses hard.
He's a fancy player.
That's all he is. If he wants to be like that, he can join Leicester again. I've never liked him at City. So the whole point of me saying don't start Mahrez was a complete waste of time when he should have started Foden and Bernardo.
He just looks for the opportunity and tries to find it, but doesn't go the way he wants it. But I think we should. I don't know if there's much more we can mention about the United game because it's just going to be the same points over and over again. So I think we should just look forward to Southampton on Wednesday now. Let's talk about that one.
Southampton is a difficult game. You've seen how it was at the Etihad when we first played them. It was 1-0. Simple little 1-0 goal, 1-0 win. But the recent drop in their form has me feeling like we're going to win decently. And I feel like we're going to win about 3-1, 4-1. I feel like they'll get a goal, but I don't think I think it'll just be a consolation goal.
I don't know how I feel about the game because start of the season they had a massive impact on the top of the table. Weren't they like top three within the first couple of weeks?
They finished first at one point.
Yeah, they were first. Then they dropped points, but now they're slowly getting themselves back into form, I think. They're at least getting goals.
Yeah, they're getting goals, but they're not getting many goals to push them up for a win as much as they were.
No. But I did watch the Sheffield United and Southampton game, and Danny Ings did get injured in that game. So it's just whether
He did.
fit enough to play, because I'm not exactly sure what the extent of the injury was, but it's whether he's fit enough to actually start up front for them, if he's fit enough to even be on the bench, or if he's just not going to be in the game. Because I think Danny Ings is going to be the big difference for them.
Yeah.
If and when they get to use him.
Either Danny Ings or Ward-Prowse.
Yeah. I think the only issue is giving away free kicks.
Yeah. We do not want to give a free kick in a place where De Bruyne can take it, because at the end of the day, not just De Bruyne can take it, so can Ward-Prowse.
Yeah. We've got to keep the defence back enough. We need to keep Jesus out of the defence area and in the attacking third.
How about this? Let's not start Jesus. Start Aguero. Get his match sharpness up.
That's another thing. It's like, he says he likes Aguero. He wants Aguero to play. But we've seen him start one Prem game, maybe, since injury.
Yeah.
But
no, he started. No, yeah.
Yeah, since injury. Yeah, he started one Prem game, and that was West Ham.
Yeah.
Played 60 minutes there, but after he didn't bring him on in United, we were losing 2-0, so there was no reason not to bring him on.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't win against West Ham, so I don't know if it's the fact. Well, we did win against West Ham, but we weren't winning against West Ham when he was on, was we? We were drawing, weren't we, at that point?
Yeah.
See, he knows how it was on BT. I can't watch BT, so so I don't know if that's a factor of, oh wait, we've not scored because we've not got the attacking force of Jesus, Sterling, and whoever is on that right wing. We had Aguero instead, who's only coming back from injury. I don't know if it's the fact of him still trying to save Aguero, or worrying about the game if he does end up coming on.
No, what I feel like he's doing with Aguero is he's trying to keep him for match fitness reasons and play him in the games where it's easy enough for him to build up his confidence to shoot again, because obviously having a knee surgery and then coming back, it's going to be a difficult time, especially after you had complications with it as well during the season.
I don't think Aguero's one of them just to sit on the bench for any longer, though, either. He needs to be on that pitch.
Yeah. He'll try and get his game time when he can, and he will fight for his spot. But if we do end up signing Haaland or Mbappe or a striker of their caliber, young, fast, can shoot really well, then it will have to be a bench warmer if we sell Jesus. I don't think we will sell Jesus, but if we do, it'll have to be a bench warmer, because if we've got a player like Haaland, he's just going to keep scoring, and then Aguero won't get a look in the team.
Well, Aguero's going to have to think of, maybe I should try and change into a cam, see if he can give me a bit of a chance in the cam, because Pep's one of them to change people's positions. Look at Foden. He's been in cam, he's been in striker, he's been in right wing, been in left wing.
You don't forget though, Foden is young.
Yeah, I know, but
Aguero's on the verge of 32, 33 even.
Okay, let me rephrase it. Gundogan, he's a striker now technically for us. He's played as a false nine, even though everyone's been reluctant to say, he can't play any other position than a CDM. He's shown that he can play a cam. He's shown that he can play attacker. He's shown that he can play back in defence as well. Cancelo, he's shown that he could probably be a cam, for all we know. Maybe even a right wing. So there's room for changing. Maybe even trying a 4-2-2 3-2 or 4-4-2, or
Yeah,
if
have a double striker
if he wants to get them both in there.
or 4-3-1-2.
Oh yeah. 4-3-1-2. Just trying to look at the next topic. So on the versus of signing Haaland or any other player, what's your opinion on the most likely signing? I know you'll be saying Haaland here, but I'm just curious of in order of most likely signing strikers because we've been linked with Lukaku, Haaland, Kane, Mbappe, Ings at
What's the
one
limit?
point.
What's the limit
What's the limit? What in?
of the amount of strikers I can name? We're just gonna stick to 5.
Yeah, say the 5 that mentioned, or if there's any more that's been put out there.
All right. So first option, which is probably going to be our main option anyway, is Haaland. And then second most likely for us to sign, if we don't end up signing Haaland, will be Lukaku, because Pep really likes Lukaku for some reason. Don't see why he likes him, to be honest. And then third option will be if Real Madrid don't get him, Mbappe. And then fourth would probably be Harry Kane as a last resort. And then Danny Ings as an even more of a last resort if we don't get any.
I think even if we get Haaland, we should still try and push for the older player in Danny Ings because
Yeah, as a backup, just in case of injuries.
because we've seen Aguero's form well, not even his form. We've seen
You can't call it a form if he's not starting.
what form? The non-existent form that because they've not been on the pitch yet. But yeah,
We've seen his form this season. He's played one match.
and a couple of second halves. Not even half, like 10 minutes. But if we get Haaland, no one's saying he's going to be fit all season. There's a chance he could be fit all season because he's young.
Yeah.
There's nothing. He's got stronger bones than everybody else. But then you'd have the chance of, oh wait, Haaland's injured. Do we take the risk in Aguero or Sterling up front and have Foden in the wing? Or so I think
that's the thing.
Go on.
This season, I've seen a massive change from the team in goal scoring, and it's not just the attackers getting the goals anymore; it's the entire team. So, really, what I think will happen if Haaland does get injured, if we do sign him, and we do play Aguero, we won't have to worry about us not scoring because anyone else in the team can score. It just depends on who he plays during that game.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have much to say about signings anymore. I think Mbappe, is unrealistic at the minute, at this moment in time. He said he wants to leave Paris, yes, but he's also said in the past that
his priority is Real Madrid.
Yeah, he's also said in the past as well. He thinks he's made a massive mistake in his career, not signing for City when we were looking at him when we signed Bernardo and Mendy. We all know what happened with Mendy. Yeah. We're not going to talk about Mendy. But we've also had information that Mendy's keeping interest from Paris, so there's a chance of it being, Mbappe could be a swap deal with obviously money because Mendy's not worth the same amount as Mbappe.
But, I mean, if PSG want to say, yeah, you can have Mbappe, we'll take Mendy. Without money, I'll be like, okay, thank you. Didn't need to be so generous, but, it is what it is. They probably will want money. And if we do end up getting Mbappe for Mendy, it'll probably be Mendy and, what would you say, 150 mil?
About right, yeah. Yeah, and then that'll cost about 151 mil. No, we can't be too much on Mendy. He when he has played since when he joined, he wasn't looking sharp at all. But I'd say in recent games, because he's been playing less games, he's looking better
Hmm.
in some aspects. Like he does it, does us a favor when he's attacking. He does us a massive favor. Didn't he get like 5 assists in like 5 games when he first joined or something?
You say 5 assists in his what game? First 5 games.
In like his first 5 games when he first joined, with all them crosses coming into the box on Sterling and Aguero at that point.
I'm not too sure. I'll have to have a look at that.
I think it might have been or something, because I think he started off really sharp and then he's dipped, and then when he's been in the squad this season, sometimes he has shown. But obviously he's not our first choice, so getting rid of him for Mbappe wouldn't be a bad decision. But Mbappe has shown that he wants to go
He's
to.
a proven goal scorer.
He wants
He's a
to go,
proven goal scorer. Leave.
and I think honestly, I think it's a stupid idea if Paris try and lose a lad like him, because I feel like they would dip a lot, because they're not even doing well they weren't even doing well in League One with Mbappe. So I think they'll do massively inform if they lose him and not have a backup.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I think Alex is unlikely.
I've got one word.
Oh,
Messi.
that's a big conversation right there.
Go on.
Go on. All right. It looks probable. I'm gonna say it looks probable,
Right.
but because the issue with Messi was he didn't like the not the management, but he didn't like the business owners of the club and all that. But then they got rid of the owners because they didn't want to lose Messi. And at some point, I'm sure he said he wouldn't mind being at Barca again for another season now. And now they've changed the manager, not the manager.
President.
Why do I keep saying manager? The president. There's a chance he's coming. He'd stay there, but then is he going to take up the opportunity of Pep Guardiola and Aguero?
What I think will happen is he probably will end up accepting this 10-year thing we've got for him, which probably will be 3 seasons here, and then I think another 2 seasons at New York City, our sister club, and then coming back to City as an ambassador. But if not, then all we know is he just prefers Barcelona. He's been there all his life, so it wouldn't surprise me if he does stay.
See, no one, apart from obviously Pep, maybe Aguero, maybe because of how close him and Messi are, knows exactly what's going on with this scenario, what's going on in Messi's head, knows what's going on in Barcelona itself. Because
look at Barcelona at the minute. They're in what? Nearly €500 million worth of debt.
Yeah.
And have you seen Messi's contract?
Yeah. Well, not seen
the 5-year contract that he signed, almost 5 years ago, was worth €555 million.
Yeah.
If a player is earning that much money and your club is in that much debt, I'd personally get rid of that player. Even if he can be the greatest player to ever live, score hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of goals, and play hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games for the club, I'd still make sure that my club is in a financial state that is stable enough to buy other players. Because at the minute, Barcelona are struggling to sign new players because of Messi's contract and how much debt Bartomeu has put that team in.
Yeah. Well, as you were saying about the hundreds and hundreds of goals, there's a thought of, do we keep a prolific right winger? Can we add? He is a right winger by natural position, and he's scoring God knows how many goals each season in all competitions. Obviously,
Yeah.
this season he didn't have the best of starts because no one at Barcelona was in the headspace because they had issues with the presidency and ownership and all that. But
Uh-huh.
it's the fact of, do we keep the prolific striker that we've had for decades, almost pretty much, or and risk being in administration, or do we try and get whatever we can out of the lad, buy it from another club like Man City, who he has close relationships with, and save ourselves to bring on a younger talent like Pedri or Ansu Fati, and have an extra player with them. Like they say they were looking at our player, they could take, not that I want them to, Bernardo in the swap deal, because they know he can do what Messi can do, just in a different position. So it's just a would you rather option technically for them.
Personal preference. I put Mahrez in the deal.
I think they'd accept that as well, because Mahrez is not a bad player. He's not a bad player.
He's a tricky winger and he'll do well in that league. He's just really terrible in the Premier League because of our style of play.
He just wants the ball to himself. He wants to try and get past the defenders himself and have an open pass to someone else rather than try and create that pass himself. But other than that, I think it wouldn't be a bad bit of business for Barcelona, because he's 20-something, 28.
I think Mahrez is 20, late 20s anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's on the younger side of 30, but late 20s. So
I think he is 29. I think he's just on the verge of turning 30 this year.
So he's still got some time on him, because even look at Messi, he's older than he's
33 and still performing at a high level.
Exactly.
Look at Ronaldo,
who's almost 40.
Mm-hmm.
He is almost 40, Ronaldo, and you wouldn't think it, but he is.
Look at Ibrahimovic. He is 40 this year, I'm pretty sure.
Buffon, I know he's in a different position, but Buffon, he's 40.
Buffon, he's the second string keeper for Juventus.
I'm pretty sure he's 43 now or something, because he was 40 a couple of years ago.
Turns 43 this year, yeah.
So, there's still... I don't think football has an age anymore. Football hasn't had an age for God knows how many years. I think it's been since... Because Rooney's only just retired.
Yeah,
I think
he's 38. I think 36, 38.
I think it is Ferdinand, maybe, was the last time it had an age rating. It wasn't even a rating. It wasn't even you have to retire by this age, otherwise you're not getting paid or something. But you don't need that quality anymore.
Personally, right. Look at Buffon. He's 42. He's still second string keeper for Juventus behind Szczesny. And also, if you look at the Chinese league, there's a player in the Chinese league. I'm not too sure if he has retired yet, but if he hasn't, the man is 50. He's playing for a professional club.
Look at China. All them teams in China, majority, probably 97% of them, are over 30. Are over the age of 30 or 35.
Iniesta.
No, he's in
Japan now.
But Japan or China, that in the Asian leagues, we'll just say.
Yeah.
Oscar, I'm pretty sure he's about 30 now.
He's 25.
No, he's 25. I thought he was older. Oops. Because I remember him playing at Chelsea.
Yeah, he left Chelsea when he was young.
Arnautovic. He's
28-ish. He's 28-ish, yeah. But late 20s anyway.
Yeah. I can't think of anybody else now. That didn't look good. I thought that was looking good when we went into it, but now we can't. But yeah, Iniesta. We'll just leave it as Iniesta. But I want to go on to normal football now, actually.
Yeah.
'Cause we've got a few minutes left in our day. Well, we've got about 20 minutes left of this, I think, in our day for to do with this. But I want to go on to the possibility of actually no. Before we go on to the rest of the football, want you to think of the possibility of City actually getting to that final of the Champions League this year.
The way we've been playing, I know we just lost to United, but I don't think that'll knock any sense of confidence out of our team. And I feel like we have the capability of making it to the final. It's now just focusing on the Champions League to push for that final.
Because you looked at the performance, out of us, you saw the performance against Mönchengladbach. I think you'd say it was a subpar performance, even though we won.
It was mediocre.
Yeah.
The way there was two standout players in that squad against Mönchengladbach. I'll be honest, it was Cancelo and Bernardo. Because Cancelo set up Bernardo, and Cancelo set up Bernardo to set up Jesus. From the exact same play as well.
Yeah. But also looking at that performance, we were away at that point, weren't we?
Yeah, that was our away game at Budapest.
So we're at home and we're actually in our home ground. We are at the Etihad. They have confirmed that we will be playing it there. But we've also not got the fans in. So is the fans going to impact the aggregate score? Or is it going to be, oh, wait, we're home. We can bang more in here as well?
Well, I said to this as a joke to other people, right? We're used to us being empty-had. That's why we went on such a long run. Obviously, I know we've got fans, but the joke is we're the empty-had. And since it's an empty stadium, we're going to do a lot.
So, we've made it through the round of 16. I'm just going to paint a picture here. We've made it through the round of 16.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the draw of that Monday night, because I think it's about Monday night that we draw it, or that late Thursday, or that late Wednesday or something. I can't remember when it gets drawn.
I think it'll be the day after. I think it'll be the Friday of that week of the last lot of Champions League games.
Probably because Europa League's already been drawn. But we get through that round of 16. I think there's only ever, at this point in the quarterfinals, there's only two teams we can get through we can go against to actually get through to that semi-final easier on form at the minute. And I think that would be Dortmund or Porto. If Porto actually beat Juve again.
Yeah. That's if Porto still carry on with the lead against Juventus.
Yeah, because they were only 2-1 up, and they were at home at that point. Yet they're going to be away. I don't know if they're going to be at San Siro or what.
Right. Prediction for the final of the Champions League.
Honestly, I don't know, because I say the Premier League teams are the underdogs in the Champions League at this moment in time. Yes, we've all won our first leg, but if you look, Barcelona are already kicked out unless they can make a miracle this week against Paris.
So Barcelona, one side gone. I'm saying it how it is. They're not against Liverpool. They're not going to come back from a 3-goal deficit and win like 5-4. Like, they done it a couple of years ago when they was down. Like
that was on the 8th of March 2017.
Was it actually?
That was on this day in 2017. They came from a 4-0 deficit away, I think.
Bloody hell.
But yeah, Barcelona are already out. Bayern Munich won it last year. They're on a bloody brilliant run. And who they got?
What was the score against Lazio? Was it 4-1, was it?
I think it was or something. I'm not too sure.
Yeah,
But
so Lazio went out. I would have preferred Lazio to stay in it as well, to be fair.
yeah, so we could get them. But yeah, uh,
Yeah.
Bayern Munich, we'd have a terrible time against them. I think.
I reckon we can still beat them, though. The
Yeah,
defence isn't as fast as you think.
yeah, I know we could beat them, but I don't think we could beat them in the quarterfinals. Is what I'm saying. I
Yeah,
don't think they'd beat
yeah,
the semi-final or final team. Paris, who's obviously going to
yeah.
kick out Barcelona. We've not had enough research about them since Pochettino's gone there.
Yeah.
Chelsea
The
beat.
only thing,
Go on.
go on. The only thing I know about PSG around this time of year is Neymar loves to get injured before his sister's birthday.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Like every manager without fail, either.
Who else we got? Chelsea played Atletico Madrid and they beat them in the first leg. But
Yeah. Are they home or away next?
I'm not too sure. I think they're home next.
So they go into the home game with a 1-0 lead and the away goal advantage.
Yeah.
Ooh. I feel like because they done it at Anfield, they were comfortable enough with it at Anfield. They'll do it to Chelsea, and I feel like Atletico will take it from them.
Yeah. If Atletico take it from them, I wouldn't mind Atletico being the quarterfinal team because I think they're weak enough. They are top of the league in the La Liga. Well done to
They
them.
bottled it. They bottled it. To be fair, though, I reckon they have bottled it.
They drew with
Real
Madrid.
Yeah. They drew with Real Madrid, and now Barcelona and Real Madrid both have a look into the number one spot.
There's 3-point difference between them all. I think.
There you go.
I think about 6 between Madrid and then 3 between Barca. So I'm not too sure. But Atletico we could do. Liverpool. Oh, Liverpool. Oh, Liverpool. Here we go. Leipzig, they've got, haven't they?
Yeah, Liverpool have got it lucky, though. They don't
Well,
have to play at home for their second leg.
interesting.
They're at Budapest again.
So is it going to be a matter of their home form coming into play? Or
If their home form comes into play against against the Leipzig team, Angelino's just going to run havoc. Angelino.
It's just going to be one of them. It's going to be a tough Champions League this year. I'm just saying it. No matter who goes through, it's going to be tough.
It's a very strong one.
Because, as I said, the Premier League looks like the underdogs in this because Bayern Munich is still in it. Juve could end up being in it.
Right. If you had to say 2 teams in the Champions League final, say them now.
Honestly, I think it could be. Can I say 2 options?
Go on.
I think it could be a Bayern Paris again, maybe.
Yeah.
Or if the results go City's way, and the draws go City's way.
Bayern City. Yeah.
Because I don't think
I've been feeling it all year. It'll be Bayern City in the final, and I think we'll do them over in extra time.
Because I don't think anyone's dropping Bayern at this moment.
The only team that look like the best option to beat Bayern is City, and it's not by a very good margin either.
No. Wait, who had Sevilla? Oh, Dortmund had Sevilla.
Dortmund had Sevilla, yeah.
See,
I reckon,
that was a close game, I think, as well.
I think it was 3-2.
Yeah, I think Sevilla could still come back.
I think Dortmund were 2-0 down as well, though. Haaland scored a brace.
Yeah.
Not too sure.
But on the subject of the Champions League, let's look at next year's based on the Premier League table.
I knew he was going to bring this up.
Who do you think the potential Champions League and Europa League teams are going to be from the Premier League?
Right. I do think Liverpool will get a European spot, but I do not think it'll be Champions League. I think they'll just beat West Ham out of it.
I
I
was
reckon.
thinking different.
I'm hoping different, but I reckon it will happen because I feel like it'll be City top. Obviously, we're already at top. Pretty much won the league. It's just our title to lose now. Then United, Leicester, and then Chelsea. And I think it'll be Everton and Liverpool.
Yeah. Well, top two, I think, have already been decided. Top two have definitely been decided at this point, I think.
Yeah.
Unless,
well, top three really.
well, yeah.
There's only 2 points between Leicester and United.
So it's I'd be very surprised as well if Everton or Chelsea don't get into it, because I think both of them can get into it. So I think it could be. Actually, how many teams can go into the Champions League? It's only 4, isn't it? I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it could be City, United, Leicester. I think it could either. It depends on how long Tuchel can keep this form up with the unbeaten run with Chelsea.
Yeah.
But I think Everton may just skim it.
I'd love to see Everton in the Champions League, to be fair, because it just proves how dominant Ancelotti is as a manager.
It'd be an interesting one as well, because I think they could just scrape past Europe, scrape past round of 16.
Yeah.
Depending on if the group stage goes their way, which I think it would do if they finish 4th.
I reckon though, because it'll be like, have they ever made it to the Champions League at all?
I don't think they have since I've been born.
They've not been it since I've been born, anyway. If they did get into the Champions League, I feel like they'll get put in with a tough group to show what the Champions League is like.
Yeah,
obviously,
it doesn't.
Obviously, people are going to fight that the Champions League draws are scripted or they aren't scripted or whatever. Personally, I feel like they are scripted to provide a bit of entertainment. But other than that, I feel like they'll get a difficult draw.
Yeah. So, based on that, I think the Europa League will be Liverpool in there. How many teams will we have in that? 3?
3, depending on the FA Cup winner.
I think. See, I don't even know who's in FA Cup now. We are, Leicester are, United are, Chelsea are. There's still loads.
So the top 4 are in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So either of them can win it, but Europa League, I think it would be Tottenham and Liverpool. Arsenal are just going to miss out because they're only just gaining the positions in the table, so they're not going to gain enough to push into it.
Right. If West Ham keep up this run of form with David Moyes, which fair play to him, by the way, they were down in 16th last season.
Their massive improvement from January has been Lingard.
It has been Lingard. I will 100% give it to him that. But in terms of where the goals have come from, it's come from the CDM mainly.
Souček
has been so dominant in the air that I won't be surprised if City don't sign him as a backup for
Rodri. Yeah. Let's actually. There's 2 topics I want to go on to first, but you said CDMs. Let's actually speak about the CDMs because this season has been a weird one for them because the CDMs have been a massive improvement for every team. Look at Gundogan. Yeah. He was a CDM. He scored almost the same amount of goals as everybody else.
I think he's scored 11 goals.
Yeah.
It's 11 or 12 now.
I think it was about that. Souček has scored God knows how many for West Ham and kept them in the games in Premier League. McTominay, I've got to say, he's been strong for. I don't know if he scored or assisted as many as everybody else, but he's been one of their.
Assisted as many, but he scored about 4 or 5 important goals for them.
So he's been a strong one for United. Can you think of any? That's all I can think of. Douglas Luiz has been a strong improvement for Aston Villa, who was a City player.
Yeah. Who we can still actually buy back as well.
Yeah. So he's been a strong link for them.
Another question about transfers.
Go on.
Grealish.
I don't know, because our issue is fitting him into the team. We've got too many good players to actually buy anyone. We've got too many good players to actually lose anyone.
We've got too many wingers.
Yeah. He can play Cam, yes, but then you drop in Bernardo, then you drop in Gundogan, then you drop in De Bruyne. We can't keep rotating our team every week, because if you saw at the start of the season, every week was a different team, every week was a different formation. Wolves won 3-1, perfect game. Second game was Leicester, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Lost 5-2. Ake scored his first goal, and then I'm not seeing anything else of Ake.
Ake scored that game. I fell asleep during that game, so I don't even know who scored. I know Mari scored a volley, that's all I saw. I was like, okay, we should be, so I'm going to go sleep. And I wake up 5-2 at full time. I was like, okay, never mind.
Yeah. Then we drew to Leeds, and we had 3 different teams in 3 different games, so we can't drop anyone, because then there's no rotation depth. See, Foden would be another one you drop, because just to support Grealish.
Yeah. I'll put Foden in the midfield and switch him out for De Bruyne.
Yeah, I think we'd have to lose quite a few players to get a player of that caliber.
Yeah. Personally, I think Grealish is an amazing player. He's been absolutely outstanding this season. But with the quality we've got in the wings, I don't think we need him. So I think it'll just be a pointless signing. It'll be like a Nathan Ake signing.
Yeah.
We'll sign him for like a decent fee of money and just not play him.
Well, Ake's been injured recently, but still, he's not broke into a team yet.
The reason he's not broke into a team is because every time he does get fit, he gets injured again in training.
Yeah.
So it's pointless, and it was pointless of us buying him, really, because we've got a solid centre-back pairing in Stones and Diaz.
We've got a decent backup in Laporte.
Yeah, if Stones isn't feeling it, put Laporte in. If Diaz isn't feeling it, put Laporte in. And we've got 2 solid right backs, one that can actually play left back as well in Cancelo. So we don't need to cover the left back spot as much as we think. But
Zinchenko's on form.
Zinchenko's on form, but we do need to sign a left back. Like a player like Luka Dean, he can push up the wing and he can put in a good cross, or he can jump into that midfield role like Cancelo does. And having that option on both sides of the pitch just shows, if we do get it, just shows how strong our team can actually be.
And Everton actually, if we get Dean, Everton actually play the same way as City pretty much.
Almost, yeah. Ancelotti brings that style of play towards them, yeah.
So Digne would be a perfect fit in that position.
Honestly, I think if we sign a striker and a left back this summer,
that'd be good.
And if they're young as well, then that'll be it. Then for the next couple of years, we've won the league.
Yeah,
many times over.
Won the league, on the verge of winning the Carabao Cup this season. Possibly getting the FA Cup and
on track to the FA Cup, yeah.
And then depending on the Champions League.
Yeah.
We've got that. I think I want to move on to this topic and then quickly move on to the last one before we finish. So it's probably going over than we said, but I think the disappointment for Pep at this minute, obviously he's happy he's won how many trophies? I don't know in how many seasons, I'm not too sure, but he's won two Prems. Yeah, 2 Prems. About
2 Prems, 3 Carabao Cups.
Yeah, they were back to back. The Carabao Cups as well.
to do a back-to-back-to-back-to-back final appearance in the Carabao Cup 4 times.
That'd just be good.
We already are.
I know.
Talking about.
Yeah. But his disappointment, I think, would still not bring in that Champions League trophy home. So him not going for that as a main trophy will be a massive regret on his behalf.
How many points are we in front of the United now? 11.
11 now.
So we do have some space to slow down in the Prem, but not to slow down to where we win, where we don't win games. But we can play a weaker side.
Yeah. Like I said, the only issues we have in the league now are the likes of Leicester, Chelsea.
Yeah.
And I think that was it. Maybe Villa at some point. But one last topic. Quickly. I want to talk about, because we're talking about, to be honest, we're not even moved out of the Prem yet. So, but we're still going to stay in the Prem. We'll probably move out of the Prem next time. But relegation battles this season. I reckon
it's going to be a difficult one this season. This season's relegation battle will be difficult between 16th, 17th, 18th and 19th because they're all quite close.
Yeah. I was literally speaking to, I don't even know if it was you or Ben about it, but it was Ben on Saturday when Sheffield were playing. Yeah. I think Sheffield have been highly unlucky this season. Highly unlucky.
Mm-hmm.
To be so low down after so good of a season last season.
Yeah.
Their issue was losing Henderson to United, keeping him on contract, bringing in Ramsdale, who is a good keeper. He is a good keeper.
He's not the type of keeper to keep you up.
No, he's not got the defence in front of him. He's not got the defence to keep it, to help him out. They signed Wim Brewster for 12 mil or something like that. And he's not shown up because he's never played in the Prem before. This is the first time he's actually played in the Prem.
I think he played a couple of games as a sub for Liverpool, but that's about it.
Yeah. So he's not had a proper games in the Prem. Fulham are picking it up. So I think they could just...
They've picked it up big time this season. Compared to the 2018 season, they've picked it up big time.
Yeah. I think they could just scrape it and knock Brighton down into it. Because Brighton still haven't brought Fulham in.
Don't know about Brighton. It'll probably be Newcastle.
Well, Newcastle got very unlucky this season by not getting that financial takeover, by not getting the new ownership.
That's Premier League's fault, that, honestly. I feel like that is the FA and Premier League's fault.
I think they cut it off as well, I think. I'm not too sure. But, yeah, they got unlucky for that because I think they've not signed as many players because they had the plans of signing, we're getting this deal done.
Yeah.
We can sign these players, but they didn't actually get the deal done. I don't think they had enough time from the transfer window to the Premier League to actually get players in. And then you have West Brom. Allardyce, I have got to praise. He's turned a West Brom team that looked like getting nowhere further up in the league to get in, possibly somewhere, something.
The man is a football god for relegation teams.
I think they could still have the opportunity to get relegated.
Yeah,
but not by as much as everyone thought they would. Burnley are close to it. I think they could slip. So I think it's definitely Sheffield. I'm not sure it's going to be West Ham or West Brom and Fulham that are going down. I don't think it will be. I think it'd be Brighton or Newcastle or Burnley and Newcastle or one or the other.
It'll be difficult to call anyway.
Yeah, it's looking good for all the teams at the bottom.
Yeah.
Now. Speaking
of calling, is that it then?
Yeah, I think we've had a good discussion for the first podcast.
Yeah.
So as we said, this podcast is going to be a football podcast. We will try and run this every season, but we've only just started it now because it's just been an idea. So we'll keep this going till the end of the season. We'll see how it picks up, and if it picks up well enough to probably go through the Euros, I think we could do that. I think we don't have an issue with doing that. Just at that point, obviously, it won't be a City conversation. It just be unless obviously topics show up during the Euros.
It'll just be a conversation like who should play for certain countries.
Yeah, it'd just be a normal football conversation.
Yeah.
We've mentioned about the idea of doing this podcast twice a week, but I don't think we've actually agreed on that properly yet, have we?
No, I think it is best off doing once a week.
Yeah, I think that'll do until we know exactly what's going to go on with this podcast. I think we'll just leave it as the 1 week. So that'll be every Monday, and probably either get put onto the Spotify or any other. What is it called?
Monday, post it on the Tuesday.
Yeah, podcast. So it's either going to be it's going to probably be posted on that Tuesday, depending on timing and everything.
Yeah.
But as I mentioned this, I think we will be looking for guests to come on to this actually.
Yeah.
Just to give their opinion, not even just City fans, even people that just want to mention something about City or about a game, like if Southampton win against City, God hope, please no.
Don't speak it into existence.
Oh no.
Touch wood, we beat them.
Yeah. But if you're a Southampton fan and you want your opinion in that game for City or Southampton's favourite, we don't mind. Just if anyone wants to be a guest, please let us know through this or some other outlet. And I don't know what else to add. Do you have anything else to add?
No.
So, and if you have any topics, actually, I think we're using this app called Anchor, not a sponsor, but yeah, we'll just mention it out there. Anchor, and I think you can share voice messages to the podcast company anyway, so you can have your input through that if you don't want to actually be on the podcast. So we'll try and get some of them going and some guests going, and hopefully be able to talk about City and football for a few years, maybe more. But I'm happy to leave this podcast here. I think it's been a great success. Thank you, Keiran, for doing it with us.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and thank you for not watching. Oh wait, it's gonna go on. It's gonna go on YouTube as well, isn't it? And you're gonna try and get it onto YouTube at least.
Yeah, I am.
Audio with a background on or something. So we're going to try and get that arranged. Singin the Blues, it's called. Is it the Singin the Blues podcast on YouTube as well? I can't remember if
just the Singin the Blues.
Singin the Blues. Singin the Blues on YouTube and on Spotify. It will be Singin the Blues podcast. And if you liked it, please follow us. And as I said,
and give us a like.
Yeah. And if you're interested of being on it or having your opinion said or anything, please let us know, and we'll happy to have you on. Thank you for listening, and we'll speak to you all next week.